Hi guys, it's Lori, and I wanted to share with you real quick like my staple ingredients, because I know that meal planning can be really tricky and stressful, and nutrition is the most important, but it's also the most stressful. So I wanted to share with you my ingredients if you have these ingredients in your home, you can use this as a base to then build meals off of and stay on track. And so I'm going to go through kind of like by container to help give you an idea of, like, if I'm out and about and I'm like, oh, I gotta go grocery shopping, like I have it in my mind now. I always make sure I have these things in my house. And so we're gonna go through, let's see, we've got first the green containers vegetables. So I love the steamer vegetables because they're quick and easy and I don't have to do a lot of prep. I have a good amount of those in there for quick snacks. I will actually steam up some vegetables and then throw some sort of a seasoning on top, and I'll eat that as a snack. Gigi actually has started doing that with me. They're also great to add as a side for dinners. As far as actual buying vegetables, I always make sure that I have carrots and cucumbers and peppers. And those are usually thrown into salads. I also have zucchini, so I'll use the zucchini, carrots, and peppers for big batches of stir fry. And so I buy like these same ingredients, but I buy a lot of these ingredients, so that way then I can have them, double up for salads and for like stir fry at night sort of deal. I also buy a spaghetti squash, because we'll do some sort of that has replaced noodles, as well as I also buy extra zucchini because we have one of those spiralizers. So we'll use the zucchini noodles as our pasta. So let's see. So carrots, peppers, cucumbers, zucchini, spaghetti squash, and the steamers. There's Gigi. And so those are my go-to vegetables. Yes, Gigi. Can you have some meatballs? Yeah, you want to get them out? Okay. So maybe that takes us to the red container. I use ground lean turkey, chicken, and eggs as my protein. The turkey, I buy like the 2-pound lean turkey, and I'll cut it in half, and I'll make some of it as ground turkey, and then I'll use the other half. Do I bring it over here and I can open it for you? The other half, I'm always making these turkey meatballs. They're from the 21 Day Fix Extreme. Here you go. Cookbook recipe, and I'll share that recipe. But I make those, and because those are a dinner as well as in the next day. They're a snack for the kids to eat. Gigi's grabbing some meatballs as a snack, and then eggs. I use them for breakfast as scrambled eggs in a tortilla. But those also can be hard-boiled, and you can cut them up and put them in a salad, or even just have hard-boiled eggs as a snack. And then chicken, I cook it in bulk. I cook 2 batches, and I say Cameron really helps out too. Both of us do. We're both in this group, so I gotta give him credit too. But we'll do that, and we'll cook up in the oven. We'll cook up 2 batches, and we'll have them seasoned differently. So that way then we can have chicken, but the idea is that I buy and eat a lot of the same food, but spices are so important because it's not the same meal. I'll have spinach leaves for a green too, for lettuce. And so I'll have a salad, but then at night I'll also have carrots and peppers, and some zucchini, but they're not going to taste the same thing because it's a different spice. And then I guess the Greek yogurt is also protein. I use Greek yogurt instead of sour cream. I don't eat Greek yogurt in a red container amount, except for the snack, the treat that I'm going to share with you guys next week. It has been my go-to ice cream replacer. So I'll tell you about that next week. So some Greek yogurt. And so that's our red. We did green and red. The purple, I've got apples. I got green apples because they're lower on the glycemic index. I also have red apples for the kiddos. And then we have bananas, and then kind of whatever fruit is in season that is the most helpful and the cheapest. But I also do buy frozen fruit because that goes well in smoothies. I also buy the frozen fruit because you can use like blueberries in your oatmeal, or strawberries in an oatmeal sort of deal. So I do buy a tropical blend, a bag of frozen strawberries, and a bag of frozen blueberries. And so you got your staple, fruits there to have. And then, let's see, red, green, purple, yellow. Okay, yellow is the one that's like, so I don't do any bread. I get really bad postnasal, a really bad bloat. Even if I eat like whole wheat flour, and it still kind of messes with me. My system just doesn't do well with it. And I don't know, I'm not going to say I'm gluten intolerant or whatever. I just don't do well with it. So, but my go-to yellow is oatmeal and sweet potatoes and brown rice. And so we'll cook up on Sunday night. You can actually, in like 1 hour, I'll do brown rice in the rice cooker. It takes like 20 minutes. And I'll do a batch of quinoa in the rice cooker for 20 minutes. And that lasts a whole entire week. And then I'll have my chicken in the oven, as well as then my turkey meat on the stove being cooked. And then in with the chicken, I'll have the turkey meatballs at the same time then as I'm cutting up my vegetables. So I got like a whole entire meal. I plan a meal, but I have a whole entire meal go-to within an hour. And so, sweet potato, get a paper towel, get it a little bit wet, wrap your sweet potato up in a paper towel, put it in the microwave for like 4 to 5 minutes depending on how big it is, and that's how I cook my sweet potatoes. Like super quick, super easy, super fast. So sweet potatoes are a go-to carb, doesn't weigh me down, and it just, for me, it just feels light and it's fun. Have a sweet potato with some plain Greek yogurt on top and some salsa. That's like a good go-to snack right there. So that's my yellow. So green, red, purple, yellow, blue. Okay, blue. I don't do a lot of blue. But I guess yellow also can be your almond milk. If you do almond milk, I stopped doing almond milk. But blue is like your dairy and your fats. And so my go-to is avocados. It just is great to have in salads. I don't do, and besides Greek yogurt, which can be considered a dairy, I don't really do a lot of dairy. Here's my tip and trick. If you need your cheese, go for like a blue cheese, a goat cheese, a shredded Parmesan cheese, something that has a lot of flavor, so then you don't have to use a lot to get that flavor, if that makes sense. So like for the kids even, we'll use shredded Parmesan cheese on top of, the zucchini noodles that we make, because I don't have to put a whole bunch of cheese on top. So I'm going dark here, the sun went away. I just sprinkle some Parmesan cheese because it's got such good flavor, such a good amount of flavor, that I don't have to use a lot to get the flavor out of it. So there's a little tip or trick to use when you're doing your cheeses and your dairy. Excuse me. Teaspoons, I use that, and I might not use it perfectly, but I use a lot of coconut oil. If you get the extra virgin organic, that's the one that actually tastes like coconut. Sometimes you might have gotten coconut oil and you're like, this doesn't taste or smell like coconut. Excuse me. It's got to be the extra virgin organic coconut oil that'll actually taste like coconut. And guys, like I use coconut oil in the fact that like I put coconut oil in the pan, in the frying pan when I'm doing my scrambled eggs, because scrambled eggs and coconut oil just taste really good to me. And so, and I guess the red is also the Shakeology. I gotta include that too. So those are my go-to. I'm trying to think of anything else that I'm forgetting. If I do forget anything, I'll add it to you. But if I have those things in my pantry, I mean, oatmeal, I can eat oatmeal every day. And just based on the fixings and the different, seasonings, or like I'll do maple syrup one day, honey another day, apples and cinnamon one day, blueberries another day, banana and walnut another day. Like I can eat oatmeal every morning and not have it be the same, right? And so that's where adding these fixings, adding these seasonings in will make a huge difference. So you can buy a whole lot of food and buy it in bulk and not spend too much money, and just invest in seasonings is what I would say. Invest in the flavorful things that are going to make the food that you're buying that much better. Now, a lot of people are like, well, what are your kids eating? My kids, instead of having a salad, they'll have, chicken and quinoa and some Parmesan cheese in a tortilla, I honestly, I'll have to talk a little bit more later, but I have I had very picky eater kids, and it was like weeping and wailing and gnashing of teeth to get them to eat anything, Scooter particularly, to eat anything remotely healthy. But I'm very passionate about being the mom in the kitchen rather than a friend in the kitchen. And there were many times that Scooter went to bed without dinner. And there are many times where there was, like I said, weeping, wailing, and gnashing of teeth. There's a huge story behind it that I'll share in the group later. But yeah, my kids know that if they don't eat it, they don't get fed. I'm not going to make anything extra. I will make it maybe a little bit different. You know, we might have a turkey burger. And they can have theirs on, you know, the whole wheat tortilla or the whole wheat bread. But I'm not going to make a hot dog instead of a turkey burger because they don't want a turkey burger, right? So my kids will eat exactly what I eat. I'll just make a little bit of a variation, or, you know, put cheese on it, or make it a little bit different, but it's the same ingredients. I'm not cooking two different things. I don't have time for that. So if you struggle with that, let's have a chat. I'll give you honest to goodness truth about what I think about that. And if you have any questions, post them below. Sorry, this video is a little bit longer, but I just want to go over those base ingredients that then you can add to on top of that. And then next week in the group, I'll also share my chocolate chip almond cookies. Or maybe I'll share it tonight because it is the weekend. I'll share the recipe for my chocolate chip almond cookies that have replaced our regular chocolate chip cookies, and I'm totally okay with giving my kids those over the weekend because football season's starting, right? So that's how we stay on track and still enjoy the special occasions in our life. So, all right, I'm gonna go sit with Jeej, have some of my turkey meatballs. I gotta go make some more because she ate them all. She ate all my turkey meatballs. So I'll share that recipe in the group too, so you guys can learn how to make those and have your kids eat them for snacks. You might find yourself making a whole lot more than what you thought.